seeing this live from. I'm excited I'm doing this video. Just that this is not the regular video that I do, and for that reason, this video is going to go off in the next 24 hours. I think I'm gonna take this out of the space because in this space I talk about beauty, makeup, daily fascinators, and then I vlogged about my life. But something struck me today when I went to church, and I decided to share this with my community, share this with whoever is going to be coming across this video. So today in church, being the Sunday after Valentine, our our emphasis of today was strictly about love, love, how to communicate. So we were taught how to communicate and connect with the opposite sex. Yes, how do you communicate and how do you connect with the opposite sex? So reasons there they we also learned that some of the reasons why men divorce their wife is because 70% would say that it's as a result of nagging. So when they say nagging, they mean when a lady complains too much, like you're always complaining, there is nothing, like in fact you don't even see anything good about that person. You just all the time you just want to complain, you just want to talk, you just want in your mind you're just talking, you just want to talk. So you're nagging about your partner, you're complaining a lot. So this um some of the reasons why people go through divorce when you complain. Another one is non-appreciation. So as a lady or as a woman, you are not appreciating your partner. You don't appreciate the little effort that they put in order to get things done. This can be a problem in your relationship or in it when you express gratitude to them, like you see the effort, the little effort they put in things, and then you appreciate those little efforts. So the women on the other side, when there is no words of affirmation, like you're not trying to even look at their side, you're not even noticing that somebody made her hair, somebody made her nails, all this can lead to divorce because women on their own part they need lots of words of affirmation. Even if you tell me I love you, let me know that you love me every day. It's actually not so much to ask. So men, I've heard men say, for me to even get married to her, she should know that I love her. She don't know that you love her. Sometimes you got married to her because you feel she is the person that is available at the point in time. That's how they see it. That's how women see these things. Some of them they feel that you got married to them because they are the person available. So but when you profess your love all the time, then you get to win that words of affirmation for your wife. Like she now become considered, like you're considering her, you consider her emotions, her feelings, and you validate her opinion. So when you validate, turn off light to hide in darkness. This is that one. So when you communicate with them through you communicate their emotions through their emotions, and then you make them feel valid, you make their opinion feel valid, you make them feel seen, feel noticed, and you validate everything that they do. This can help prevent your marriage from breaking. So women are to be loved and not used. So sometimes they see women, hi, I might not be able to go through your messages, but then you can just keep your messages coming. But I'm just giving a rundown of how to communicate in your relationship. So if you want to in your relationship, in your marriage, this is actually what I learned today in church. So they said there is no transmission of emotion if there is no connection. Like if there's no connection, there's no way you can transfer emotion. Yes, like if you If you don't connect with person, there is no way that person will know how you feel. There's no way that person will see or sense how you feel. There should be communication before that person will know how emotional you are being attached to them. The four things that cripple communication. There are things that cripple this communication that you see. Yes, and number one is criticism. Criticism is associating an action with someone. Like when you associate an action with someone, or yes, you associate an action with someone, maybe somebody, as she's carrying the plates, the plate fell down. You will not tell the person there is nothing good that you can do. Just imagine that you've broken this plate, and to your surprise, that person will actually not do anything right, because in that person's mind, you've already said there is nothing good that person can do. You will just see the person spoiling things. Maybe she's going to pick and turn on the television, the remote will spoil, because you've put in that mindset in that person that there is nothing good that that person can do. So criticism most times can destroy home. Even if someone is doing something wrong, that is not enough reason to generalize every other thing that the person do. The most important thing is to take let the person, there are better ways of communicating these things to this person. There are better ways of letting someone know that you are not doing the right thing, rather than there is nothing good that you can do perfectly. Like that word alone sounds very discouraging. That word sounds really discouraging. So it's better that we communicate right and we control criticism the way it should. The next one is concept, attacking your partner to feel superior or being defensive. So there are lots of people who are in this particular shoe. Yes, you are in this circle because you want to feel important, because you want to feel superior. The only thing you know how to do is to bring down your partner. That will not help you. That will not help you at all. Bringing down your partner to feel superior will never help you achieve what you want to achieve. Rather, you will make that person go back to his or her shell. That person will go back to her shell or his shell, and that person will harbor a lot of things in their heart. So it is better not to attack your partner. Don't let them feel or see you as being defensive. There are people who are very defensive. Whatever they are doing in this life, they have a reason. Like you can't catch them and say they, in fact, they can never be wrong. Those are the defensive kind of people. They can never be wrong. So defensive people can actually not be wrong in anything that you're doing. Please, you can subscribe to my channel, subscribe to this channel, like this video as you're watching. Please, I beg you, just do that. So the next one is, okay, being defensive. You just defend everything that you do. The next one is stonewall. So some people set stonewall for themselves because you have pushed them to their shell. Before somebody comes out of their shell, like, in fact, let me start with, before someone enters this shell, there are lots of things that person must have dealt with before entering your shell. The person must have dealt with trying to communicate. The person must have dealt with your criticism. The person must have dealt with your contempt. Then the person will just leave no any other option than to go back to their shell. So going back to their shell is like setting a stone wall that even communication will not be very difficult. It now makes it very difficult to communicate with your partner. So how to communicate with a man? Avoid apology. So men obviously don't like you to apologize. Like, just go straight to the point. Tell them what you want to say. Like, be very brief. Let's take for instance, now I want to tell you, want to tell a man that you actually got to the office but your car broke down, so and so listen. And the aim of that particular visit is to see, maybe to see a director and conclude the deal. It's better you just start with, yeah, today I saw the director and we concluded the deal, but however, on my way to the office. So now he has gotten the point to where you are going to. Like, okay, fine, we've gotten the deal is settled. Now what is the next? So he will not give you more attention. But if you start by saying, as I was going to work, I had the lot of traffic and all that, and the car broke down, he can easily lose attention. So the listening span of a man is very short. Like, they have short listening span. Men have short listening spans. So that's why you need to be very brief. You need to avoid apology. You need to be very brief. Avoid emotional display. This is what I learned in church today. It was actually Pastor Sam Adioye's video. He said that avoid emotional display. So they don't like it when women cry. Like every little thing you want to communicate, anytime you want to communicate, you just cry. Something bad is happening to you, you cry. Something good is happening to you, you cry. Something good is happening to you. Hello. Hello, something good is happening to you, you want to cry. Something bad is happening to you, you want to cry. You're having a baby, you want to cry. Your baby's out, you want to cry. So they don't like it. But the truth is, it is better they get to know that women are emotional beings. Like we are always emotional. We cry at everything. Now, when they are crying, the best thing to do is maybe if it's something you need to, if it's the one you need to talk to them, just let them just cry that emotion. They just need to cry. But men avoid that emotional display. But make sure you don't do this emotional display when you're trying to tackle a very sensitive situation. Yes, so don't do that when you're trying to tackle a very sensitive situation. Remove emotional display into discussing very sensitive emotion. So coordinate your emotion. Your emotion can be controlled. You can actually control your emotion. If you want to control your emotion, you can control your emotion. You can control your emotion. Please let me know where you're watching this video from. Let me know where you're watching this video from. Just let me know. So how to talk to a woman. So for a woman, you need to create time. Like they like it when you give them attention. They we like it when you give us attention. So create time for women. Listen. Most women want you to just listen. Most times they just want to do the talking. The only thing they need from you is just your listening ears. So give them full attention, give them listening ears. All this will help you to keep your marriage, to help your marriage not to break. Yeah, so you guys will not go through divorce. I'm actually telling you what I jotted down from church today. So it's not like my own perspective. I'm saying what I learned from church today. So it's another one says focus on non-verbal communication. You know, women we communicate with our body. I might be saying something different, but my body is saying something different. So focus on the non-verbal communication. That's the attitude, the behavior, and the body language. It is very important because I might be talking to you and my face is not happy. That means there is a problem. So you should be able to know what that problem is. Like ask questions so that you get to know what the problem that the lady is going through at that moment, so you can help. So show care. So if you are able to focus on the non-verbal communication, you will show care. That shows that you are an attentive listener. You know when your partner has shift from the conversation, like the person is no longer interested, or you know when your partner is not happy, so you just come into that, you come in and help. So stop trying to dominate. So most men, most women, they just want to dominate. They want to be like the head. You know this thing that they say, the man is the head of the home. Yes, the man is the head of the home. I wonder which women want to which I wonder the woman that wants to drag that particular position with a man. You are superior, dominate, but don't try to, like, when you say you're trying to dominate a particular home, it's more like saying, like, you do bad to your wife and then you ask her that this communication should not be heard by outsider. Like you things, bad things, maybe if it's a woman that beats the husband or a man that beats the wife, they will not put a communication that outsiders shouldn't hear about it. So if the person dies in the marriage, what happens? Because the person is trying to be over dominative of the marriage or the relationship. So stop trying to dominate on control or control the communication. Most times when you're communicating with someone, give them the listening opinion, the listening ear, so that they will also air their own view. There are lots of people that when they are communicating with people, they list In fact, they don't give them time to say anything. Like before you even complete your sentence, they have interrupted. So few things to have in mind. Communication, few things to have in mind. The number one thing you need to have in mind is you need to be ordered. Like you need to be order center. Like have a particular pattern for yourself. Have pattern for yourself, so that you don't overdo things. So think before speaking. Yes, you have to think whatever you want to say to your partner. The first thing you think is this okay? How will this person take this word after I have said it? Will they what will be the impact of this particular thing I want to say to this person? How is this person going to take this particular aspects or this word that I've said? So before you speak, make sure you think before speaking. Very important. Listen after done speaking. So when someone is talking to you and you're done talking, just it is best advice that you give the person 100% attention. Do you know when you're communicating to someone, the person obviously know that you're listening or you're not listening. So listen after done speaking. Find common ground. So when you're having a conversation with someone, make sure you find common ground. Like every conversation should not lead to arguments. Every conversation should not lead to quarrel. So everybody is entitled to their own opinion. You have your own opinion. You know your perspective. I believe you're saying things based on the perspective of life that you have experienced and based on the perspective of things that you have seen. So let people have their own perspective and come to a common ground. Don't say this person's idea is superior or whatsoever. Just know that you all need both. You know you need each other to grow. You need the input of your husband and the input of the wife in order to make the home. So nobody is superior. Find a common ground and keep your marriage going. So delay emotional reaction like maybe quarrel, malice. I see some people say I didn't talk to my husband for 6 months. Like how do you even start? Like you be in the house with this one person. Just when you're waking up, when you wake up from sleep, that's the person you see. When you're about to go to bed, that's the person you see. In fact, you will spend most of your time in the house, that's the person you see, and you end up not talking to that person. No, now, no, it's not right. It's not right. Delay emotional reaction. So that emotional reaction can be, I just don't want to talk to this woman. I don't want to talk to this man. Let me be on my own. So be on your own. Let me be on my own. So for your marriage to work, you need to delay that emotional reaction. Don't let it happen. Don't let the devil steal your thoughts by telling you that, of course, I can do without this man. Of course, I can do without this woman. So that's the devil come creeping in to steal what he didn't plant in your relationship. No, his plans are always to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But God has come to give us life and give us life in abundance. If you check, the only institution that is authorized by God is that institution of marriage. Yes, institution of marriage is the only institution that God approves. Like, and that is why you see the devil fight so much. Like the devil fights so much against marriages. Now, if you see, for the man and the woman who are not giving themselves listening ear, you don't have time to talk to your wife, you don't have time to talk to your husband. Someone outside will feed them with what they need to hear. Now, if you take, for instance, the issue of the story of Adam and Eve, I would say practically that Adam did not have time for Eve, because if Adam had time for Eve, they would have walked through that garden and Adam would instruct her, this tree is not for eating, this one is good. Babe, God said we should not eat this one. Babe, this is the one we are supposed to be eating. We are not supposed to touch this one. So if you have communication with your spouse, lots of things is going to be resolved in that home. I feel they don't have communication. That was why Eve listened to the voice of the serpent and then ate the fruit, because there is a voice. If you don't listen to your partner's voice, another voice will obviously fill in that space where there should be a voice. So try, if you don't create time for your partner, if you don't listen to them, the outside world will create time for them. The outside world will make them will make them fall to the standard of this world. So create time, make out time Make out time in order for you to communicate better in your relationship. Imagine possible outcomes. So in your relationship, imagine possible outcome. Have a Christ enthroned life. Like if you have a Christ enthroned life, you will try as much as you can to make your marriage work. Yes, have a prayer driven life. So prayer answers, prayer does everything. Like prayer is the master key. So when you're in, my pastor will always say that for every marriage that succeeds, there is a tendency for that marriage to break, and for every marriage that break, there is a tendency for it to succeed, in the sense that we all know that to the first to first 5 years of a marriage used to be a critical, like used to be a challenge, like for the couple. These are when you two different person coming together to meet, to they are coming together to just get to know themselves and all that. So in that part, lots of you're trying to learn this person, you're trying to learn the other person. If care is not taken, it might lead to divorce, because you people don't know yourself before, or you're just meeting yourself and you're trying to make it work. So for every marriages that work, there is a tendency that that marriage would have broken, and for every marriage that broke, there is a tendency that that marriage would have worked. Yes, there's a tendency that that marriage would have worked. So now it now depends on what you want. Now you can make your marriage work, because if you ask these divorce people, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, they will tell you that if they had known, maybe they wouldn't have gone through that divorce process, because that marriage that broke has a tendency to succeed, and that marriage that succeeds has a tendency to broke, but they stick together to make things work for themselves. So make prayer a lifestyle. Meet God individually before meeting together. So this you have to know God for yourself. Knowing God for yourself is not what a man can explain to you. Mm-mm. I can't tell you to know God. To know God, it depends on how the relationship you have with God, that will shape your character. The relationship you have with God will shape your thinking. The relationship you have with God will shape everything that you do. Now, if you come to my family now, my parents now, if you ask me who is your father to you, I can give you a perspective of who my father is to me. And then you ask my other siblings, who is my dad to them, they will also give my dad a different perspective of who my dad is to them. That is when you build a relationship with God, it gives you a better way of understanding. Now you have your own perspective of God, because you have built a relationship with God all through your life. So how to communicate, creating daily, how to communicate. So in relationships, some people will say that marriage is boring, marriage is that, is it just about going to work, coming back, eating, and then your wife will come and say, my we need to pay Jason's school fees, we need to pay Joyce's school fees, we need to do this, we need to do. So for the man, they feel it's all about them bringing money, spending, spending, spending. Marriage is far from that, like it's different from that, but they first need to they need to have a communication, like set out a communication. Now you can create daily rituals between husband and wife, in order for your marriage not to be boring, not to be difficult. Some of the daily rituals can be, you can just tell yourself, once it's 6 p.m., I and my spouse, I and my husband will take a walk. Yes, we'll take a walk, and in that process of taking a walk, we'll have to come, we'll be talking, like you guys will be talking. That is how you bond. You can say a period of time, we need to play games. Yes, you can make out game time for your family. All this will help you bond with your family. So create daily rituals that you do all the time, rituals that you know that no day passes by without you people connecting. So create daily rituals. Your daily rituals can be, before you go leave for work, you have to kiss your wife. When you come back from work, you have to kiss your wife. So all these are daily rituals that you need to create in order for you to ensure that your marriage work. Now, how to connect better in marriage? Now you need to make out time for each other. I'm giving you a rundown of what they said in church today. So make out time for each other, pray, say it clearly and with respect. So Everybody in a marriage, everybody deserve respect. Yes, even as you're the husband or you are the wife of the home, this mutual respect should be something that everybody everybody will have. So you don't have to say I don't need to give respect to this person because no, everybody, you need to give respect to everybody, even a small child. You're meeting a small child for the first time, or you're getting to, in fact you're with a small child, you need to respect that small child. I'm not saying that you should call the small child ma or sir. There are certain respects that you give to child. So that is why they say respect is reciprocal. So in marriage too, you need to respect each other. Respect is very important. Know your boundaries. Don't, because you're coming from different background. Some people come from background where the way they tease themselves from their home, they can use harsh word on that person, on themselves, and they will just laugh over it. And then you married into a family where they take words seriously. Like, you can't use those kind of words for them. I could remember one time a child came to stay with us. Like, he just came for a visit, and then my brother, he was playing with my brother, and then my brother told him mumu. So that guy cried. Like, he came to meet my mom. He cried like, why would my brother call him mumu? And we're like,